I got a good one here. This one's slightly older. This one's a couple days old. This one's a couple days old, but it obviously came out a few days before that. Because the boys put out a kind of consensual where they're talking about the Buffalo school situation, the Buffalo public schools. They put out a kind of consensual. It's called "Why Parents Need to Speak Out About the Buffalo Schools." I don't know how much of an update this is. I know that Rich did read through the entirety of the findings on his stream. I did not see all of it, so I really didn't get to the part of the findings. For those of you that don't know, quick little backstory. Rich uncovered a very serious problem in the Buffalo School District, or the Buffalo Public Schools, where the schools were not reporting issues happening with children. The thing that really brought it to his attention was there was an attempted kidnapping at one of the Buffalo public schools. Like a creeper, a suspected PDF, actually got into one of the Buffalo public schools and tried to snatch 2 children out of the school. And the school, number one, did not go to full lockdown. They went into a shelter in place, which is not a lockdown, and they didn't inform. There was an issue with them informing the police, and an issue informing the parents. There was a question of whether or not they were withholding or destroying evidence, and it basically opened the door for Rich to look deeper into this. And the Buffalo public schools in general are basically putting the kids at the schools at risk. They're improperly reporting when police need to get called there, the reason that they're called there. They are not calling the parents when there's been incidents where they would not call the parents when something has happened to the child, like the child needs to go to the fucking hospital, and they wouldn't call to have an ambulance. They call the parents to come there first before they'd ever even call for an ambulance. It's just basically an absolute shit show that Rich basically jumped on and spearheaded. And this is where the legend of the Nick Binder began. The legend of Nick's Binder began with the Buffalo public schools, because when Rich talked to the unsub boys about it, Rich was on an unsubscribed one of the podcasts a while back, and actually did 30 minutes of the podcast that was completely separate from the podcast itself, talking about what happened at the Buffalo public schools. And of course the local news agencies jumped on this. They tried to smear Rich, and then Nick basically cracked his knuckles and started building his infamous binder, where he would interview parents and he would talk with teachers and get evidence and do data collection. And it was a whole fucking thing. And eventually the Buffalo public schools, or maybe it was the school district, I forget, had supposedly an independent, or maybe it was the district attorney, I forget which. An independent investigation was done into the Buffalo public schools, into these allegations. And they did report their findings. Rich actually read through the findings live on stream, but I didn't see that, so I don't know what came about of those findings. So this is I'm guessing this is some kind of follow-up in regards to the public schools. I don't know if this is pre or post him reading out the findings. So let's take a listen.
Rich wasn't down in San Antonio for Brandon's veterans thing because we all didn't invite him.
That's correct.
Yes.
It's true. Because I was out being a non-veteran.
Saving lives.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I had Army this weekend.
You think?
I did. I don't know when Brandon's thing was.
This weekend.
It was Friday, right?
Rich, don't take this the wrong way, but you're the type of guy that works past retirement age just because you like it, and then once you finally get forced into retiring, you die in 5 years. Yeah, like you're a workaholic that just the engine's never been shut off. We just leave it idling in the driveway. Once we shut it off, it might not start back up.
Yeah, I'm a Toyota.
actually, I'm gonna disagree with Nick. I think when he's finally forced to retire, he's gonna go fucking ham on his YouTube and his stream. I could easily see when he gets to the point where he has to retire for whatever reason, we are going to be seeing Rich absolutely fucking unleashed on YouTube. And that will be, for a content consumer perspective, that will be a glorious day. Because he already puts out, like, what? One video a week? Maybe two, depending on if there's something topical. Can you imagine a Rich with, retired from work and nothing but time on his hands? Holy fuck, he will be cranking out videos like fucking crazy. And it will be glorious.
Coma. Don't.
That's you.
Don't give me an oil change. Don't do it. just let the ESMA seize up. Don't change anything.
Well, Rich, what about checking the oil? I mean, we don't have to change the oil, but what about checking the oil? Would you be okay with the checking of the oil? Inquiry minds want to know. That's why I ask.
Incandescent bulb.
Actually, this reminds me, Nick and Rich. So Nick made us all aware that the Buffalo Public Schools has finished their investigation, and it'll be public record in 30 days.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be heavily redacted. Watch.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. And it was. So going on the assumption that this is pre-release, yes, the record that he got through, I think he got through a FOIA request, yes, indeed, was indeed heavily redacted.
They already. Oh, I sent you guys the video. The one female attorney that Nick and I talked to was like, we were going to be redacting some of the things because of, if it's juvenile information, like the victims and stuff like that. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I'll be looking at it. I'll be looking it over.
Will you, because you're a cop, can you get the unredacted one?
So like, here's the big thing that sucks, right? I know the cases. Some of them specifically, right? I know generally some of the other things, right?
Yeah.
But I know some of them personally because I've investigated them. I can't give people my shit. I cannot do that. That will 100% get me fired.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Imagine
absolutely.
if a cop just went to his job and gave all of his friends random shit that he saw. Like
I'm
that's
sorry. How do I get you fired? I've been working on this for a while. What do I got to do?
Oh God! Nick is collecting veterans now. He already got Ethan to quit. Now he's working on Rich. Listen, Skybro is collecting VTubers. You guys say I'm collecting VTubers. Nick's fucking collecting veterans right now. Okay, that's it. Veterans are Nick's Pokemon right now.
Oh, you'd have to somehow get me to give you shit. Ain't gonna happen.
We'll see.
And he took that
Keep
personally.
pondering. So, yeah, but it's frustrating because I can't give people my notes. You got to FOIA it. It's got to be a FOIA request, and I don't know if my detective's notes are something that you would get from the FOIA request. I don't see why you wouldn't, but
Dad actually came on the news and said, I did not know this happened until 6 months later, which is fucking wild.
That, I think, is what one of you guys just said, is one of the dads of the kids that almost got kidnapped was never informed. The only reason why he knew about it, I think, is because of the unsub voice. So, like, this was one part of the huge issue with the Buffalo public schools, is things were happening to their kids in school, very serious, dangerous things, potentially life-threatening, and the schools were not informing the parents about it. Why? So they could keep their status and keep getting their funding. Because if their numbers look bad, like they had the police coming because of fights so many times, or if students were getting hurt and they had to have ambulances, whatever, coming over there, or if, God forbid, you have someone break into the school to try and kidnap the kids, it would impact their numbers and therefore impact their funding. And so they were sweeping it all under the rug. They weren't telling the parents anything. And that's what I think Eli was mentioning, was like, there was one dad who didn't know anything happened until 6 months later, maybe when the unsub guys were talking about it on the podcast.
like, if that in and of itself,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Well,
Why are heads not rolling?
The dad on the news said, my child came in contact with the Shane Cronin guy, and I didn't
That's the
know about it
kidnapper.
until you came on the Unsubscribed podcast and it broke
Yep.
news. How the fuck is that a thing?
That's insane. That's legit. That's criminal. That legitimately should be criminal. That the school did not inform the parents, hey, your child almost got kidnapped by a pedophile. That is disgusting and absolutely fucking insane that they never informed the parents about it. That is the level of which they are sweeping shit under the rug in order to keep their funding, to keep their numbers up. Because it's all about money. Bear this in mind. It is all about money. It's all about the school boards, like getting rich and getting powerful by having that control. That's why back, the Unsub guys were basically saying like, okay, these guys come up for re-election on this date, so you got to go vote. Because they're all disgusting. They need to be criminally investigated. Every fucking one of them needs to be criminally investigated. And if there's evidence to support criminal charges, they need to be fucking charged. This, like to my ears, this should be like child endangerment. It's fucking disgusting. And J10, thank you for the tier 3, and Scary Guy, thank you for the gifted.
Like, why would you not tell the parents that?
And how doesn't that entire school board just get wiped?
I mean, if the
Hey, you're all
investigation,
fired.
Yes.
Even if it's not the entire school board, like specifically who's in charge of that school, who's the administrator in charge of that school, right? Because the buck stops at the administrator.
Who's the person that made the decision, that sat there in their office and said, here's the names of the children that came in contact with a potential fucking kidnapper. Let's not tell the parents. Who's that person?
And then let's
Or the police. Or the police. They didn't tell anybody until the video got leaked to the district attorney's office. And I say leaked. I mean, somebody sent it to them that wasn't supposed to have it because the video was gone, deleted, or they just refused to give it to the DA's office.
And that.
Yeah, that was another one. There was a question of, were they destroying evidence? Because there should have been videotape footage from the security cameras, and they wouldn't give it up, or they said it was gone. It was destroyed. So yeah, there's a potential there that they were destroying evidence.
Office.
And that person also instantly fired. The person that said, oh, just delete the security cam footage and do not give this to the police officers.
Yeah, they should be on.
Fucking wild.
it's been a couple of days since the investigation's been done. Like, would we even know if anything happened, or would they just like quietly let people go? Like, would we even know?
Well, they're gonna put out their findings on the 20th. So 8 days, 10 days.
It should be prison time, and every single one of them should be sued. All the parents, especially that dad who was not informed that his child was nearly kidnapped, needs to sue the fuck out of the school and sue the fuck out of the school board. Hit them in the wallet. That's where they'll hurt. Is because you gotta remember, all these people, especially the school board, they're all crooked as fuck. They're all, they're all in each other's pockets. So even if they get fired, they're still buddies, and they'll still get them like a cush job or something to make them rich anyway. You hit them in the fucking wallet. That's how you deal with these people. You want to make them sit up and pay attention? You want to actually hurt them? You hurt them in the bank account, because these people do not give a flying fuck about anything except the numbers in their bank account. That is all they care about. Even blacklisting, still not good enough. You hit them in the fucking wallet. You take them for every penny that they possess. That is what will actually hurt them. That's what hurts anybody, is you hit them in the wallet.
So 2 weeks, and we'll be reading through them. And then let's be honest here. If not one person is held accountable, what are we doing?
Exactly.
I'm not saying set that place on fire. Literally, figuratively, somebody needs to light that place on fire.
Yeah. Figuratively, light it the fuck up.
All right, we found an investigation, or we started an investigation. Turns out it's not our fault at all. Turns out that guy, that cop is lying. Oh, really? What about the incidents that he brought up? Oh, yeah, those absolutely happened. Wait, those absolutely happened? Well, you're not So then what's the repercussion? Well, we're going to look into it more. We're going to, we'll do a class about learning things. Are you fucking kidding me? That's what's going to happen. 100%. Nobody will be fired.
Probably
the
not.
old superintendent.
Because the crooked always watch out for each other. He's absolutely right. The crooked will always watch out for each other. They may actually admit, oh yeah, something happened, but no one's going to get punishment for it. It's like they'll go through like retraining or some bullshit like that. No one's going to receive any repercussions or any punishment for any of this. That is why you sue the fuck out of the schools. Because guess what? The burden of proof is a lot less in a civil lawsuit than there is in a criminal lawsuit. It is a hell of a lot easier to sue someone and win than to criminally charge someone. Because basically, with a criminal charge, it's proof beyond reasonable doubt. That is the standard for criminal charges, is you have to have proof beyond a reasonable doubt. With a civil case, it basically boils down to it is more likely than not to have happened in the way that the plaintiff said versus what the defendant had said. So the burden of proof is far less in a civil court than there is in a criminal court. So hit them civilly. Hit them in the fucking wallet. Because I will guarantee you that's going to hurt them far more than any kind of criminal issue.
That they named a fucking building after that retired, that turned off all of her social media because of us raising hell. Nothing's going to happen to her.
One?
What's that?
The drunk one?
No, that's another one. It's a different one.
Oh.
And how dare you yell at her? That's racist that you would bring up that she was hammered yelling, fuck you, with a glass of wine.
And
how
giving
dare
the
you?
finger. Didn't she?
Yeah.
She also gave the finger? Yeah.
Yeah, she gave the finger and was saying "fuck you" to the guest speaker at the school board meeting, and then she went and cried to her pastor, and the pastor had a press conference and said, "I believe the quote was that she apologized, and the continued persistence on this issue is nothing more than the high-tech lynching of a black woman."
We saw that. We watched that on stream. The school board meeting where she was basically she was just guzzling wine and flipping off and basically giving the finger to people that were in the Zoom call with her. The whole getting her pastor, who was basically, of course, had to make it about racism and basically claim that she's a poor what's the expression? She's just a poor black woman that's being attacked by the white mob or some bullshit like that. Yeah, that was the meeting on Zoom. We watched that on stream. Oh yeah,
which is insane.
To go racist, that I hate. You want to piss me off the fastest is bring race into it when
has nothing.
Not
to do
even.
With it.
Nope, no one gives a fuck about that. You're just a piece of shit human.
Yeah. And that's the funny part. Racism means nothing anymore. Applying racism for anything, nobody fucking cares anymore. It's going the same route as calling someone a Nazi, calling someone a fascist, calling someone an istophobe. It's in the same bucket. It is a word that has been destroyed by the SJRs because it had such an oversaturation of use. So now, making a statement and saying this was a result of racism. Everybody went, okay, so you're full of shit and you're lying and it wasn't actually racist. The exact opposite happened. And the person you're defending is actually a piece of shit. Thank you for clarifying. Because that's what it means now. Making a claim of racism means now the exact opposite happened. Because racism doesn't mean anything anymore. The fact is, don't forget, these are the same people that say you can't be racist to white people. It's the same fucking thing. Oh, if you say anything to a non-white person, oh, it's racist. But if you say extremely racist shit to a white person, oh, no, you can't be racist to a white person. Basically, we are seeing a reverse. We are legitimately seeing a reverse. We are seeing a white man's burden come to life. Any of you guys familiar with that film, A White Man's Burden? It's a old John Travolta film where basically racism has actually been reversed, and John Travolta is basically like they basically flipped the script in this movie. It's a movie from many years ago. They flipped the script on it, and so instead of being racist to the black people, they're racist to the white man, John Travolta. And it was supposed to be the whole thing. It was supposed to be a whole thing of like, walking a mile in their shoes. Like, how would it feel to be discriminated against with racism as a white person? Where the black population might be the majority, and so they're all racist and discriminatory against John Travolta because he's white. They're basically trying to make white man's burden come to life, where there's no any disagreement, any calling a non-white person out on bad behavior is racist, but you can do anything you want to white people because racism doesn't exist for white people, apparently. That's what they're trying to do. And that's why, any person that says, well, that's racist, well, okay, now we know, just lie. That is a tell. That has become a tell of someone who is lying. So anybody that says, this person is being racist towards insert quote unquote marginalized group here, instantly, that person just lied.
That's it. It's not, oh, well, this person doesn't like you because of the color of your skin. I assure you that's not the reason. Just don't like you because you're a piece of shit.
I like to think that somewhere behind closed doors with the Buffalo Public Schools, they got that report and they're like, well, I mean, do we fire someone? Can we do something? Well, if we don't, there's a bunch of idiots on the internet who are going to fucking blow our shit up again for no fucking reason. We have to do something.
I will go to Buffalo and get I will get my own protest of people outside of Buffalo schools. I will be all over national fucking news.
Good. Nick would be able to galvanize a protest in no time flat. He could do it with a single tweet. He could literally go to Buffalo, get on Twitter, and say, protesting the Buffalo Public Schools at this location. That's all he'd have to do. He would have hundreds or maybe even thousands of people show up to protest right along with him. It would take literally one tweet for him to organize a protest anywhere, especially with the Buffalo Public Schools.
If they don't do something about this,
I'm down.
Let's fucking go.
God, if we could do a GoFundMe just to raise, then we're flying protesters. We're no better than the government then.
The kids have never been safer, I promise.
And as you said, Rich, how is that working? Like being there and be like, awesome, nothing's going to fucking change. And millions of eyeballs have now been on this and jack and shit happens.
Oh, dude, I'm still amazed that Governor Kathy Hochul and the Attorney General, Letitia James, haven't opened up a single investigation into this. Letitia James is too busy hunting down cops because they got 5 complaints in 10 years. And then it's like investigating cops because, oh, somebody didn't like that you gave him a parking ticket, or somebody said he used excessive force. Oh, but he was fighting with you and he had a firearm on him. Oh, interesting. She's too busy opening investigations on cops who have body cam footage of everything fucking happening now, because everybody wanted body cam footage because it was going to show cops being racist pieces of shit. Oh, but what happened when body cams happen? Oh, all of a sudden 99.9% of all the complaints are horse shit and the cop's not an asshole? Oh my God.
Nothing.
You know what we should do? We should investigate cops more now, even though it's already on fucking video camera, the entire incident. We need to investigate them from the AG's office and then suggest that they be fired or removed or get some additional training. We should not focus on the complete obvious lack of transparency in Buffalo schools when it comes to the safety of children. That's not important.
Yeah, no.
How dare I? How dare I?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Have you been investigated by her?
Yeah. Yeah, I got 5 complaints in whatever the year period was, 5 complaints in 2 years or something like that.
That's fucking horseshit. Oh.
Yeah, one of them was because I called a fat kid.
Oh yeah, fat boy. Yeah.
Fat Boy. One of them was for Fat Boy. That was one of the complaints. One was the car accident that I got into. I backed up into a guy on a motorcycle that took off on me. And then
Very Asian of you.
and then one was
Tackling someone or the body slam?
no, it was stuff that happened all within like 2 years. Yeah. I was like 2 or 5 years. I forget what it was. I haven't been like a patrol officer in a while. And patrol is where you get your complaints.
Yeah.
You know, I pull over somebody or I jump out on a dope boy.
Yep.
Or, you know, I go to an armed robbery. And I call the fat kid, come here, fat boy. An armed robbery where I recover the firearm, by the way, and everybody fights us. And then they open up a car door to try and unarrest somebody. And then we end up arresting that guy and another kid. And I just bumped that one dude into space. Like, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I called the kid fat. And then everybody was running around with the firearm trying to fight us and get people out of patrol cars that were arrested while I'm trying to protect the victim in my car. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Letitia James. Thank you. I'm obviously the problem here. Obviously.
Well, I think
I need to be retrained.
I think the real thing is all of that stems from Rich's rampant racism. He planted that gun on the guy, and then he force-fed him carbs so that he became fat. So that
people are going to clip that, and they're going to make that like a real thing. They're going to be like, see, even his co-host said this.
God damn it.
Retard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. That was good. Ironically enough, he's not wrong about them trying to flip it because that's what the media is trying to do to Brandon right now. Have you seen the shit that they're trying to do to Brandon lately? Have you guys seen what the news media is trying to do to Brandon? They're taking old videos of him from either his own channel or the unsub channel where they were doing a bit. They were doing a bit making fun of Nazis, and they're trying to spin that into Brandon loves Nazis. That's what the mainstream, you know, SJR cucks in the media are trying to do. They're trying to literally paint him as a Nazi because he did a bit for, it was either his own channel or unsub or both, where they were making fun of zombies. And they're trying to use that to say Brandon loves Nazis. I hope Brandon sues them. I really do. I hope I hope he basically contacts a lawyer and files a suit against the news agencies for slander, because that is legit slander. But that's what they're trying to do. Like the moment he became the Republican nominee, and I won't harp on this too much because it is politics stuff, and I hate dealing with politics. But the moment he became the nominee, when Tony dropped out, they instantly started on their attack. The moment that happened, they instantly they probably had all of that old unsub and his own channel video footage like preloaded, waiting to see what was going to happen. And the moment it happened, they're like, okay, fire. And they started firing off all of these disgusting, lying hit pieces on him. It's going to be a slog for him. And I do hope he sues those news agencies that are basically saying slanders lies about him. I really do.